Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the For the Love of the Game pod. It's episode 59, Weekend 12 recap. Oh, my Lanta, we have a new number one. But before we get into that, a new number one. Before we get into that, though, unfortunately, 3 teams did drop out. Arizona State was swept by Stanford. I think that this dropout might have been a little premature. I mean, Stanford is number 4 this week, so I don't know about that one. Fullerton, though, did lose to TCU. Paige and I guessed right. Love to see it. Sorry, Fullerton. Northeastern lost to UNC Wilmington, though, unfortunately. So they are no longer in our top 25.
Which I did think there was potential for that to happen, but I didn't want to say that with it being their first weekend ever in the top 25.
Exactly.
So that was crazy. Also, I think we obviously thought Arizona State would lose to Stanford.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect them to fall out. But D1 baseball, they're just cutthroat this.
They are
this year,
on certain. So. I feel like on certain teams, and then like Stanford, I don't think they should be in our top 25. But 4,
yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they only have one series lost though, so I get it.
Yeah.
And now so does LSU. I mean, Arkansas, but like. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Also, did you see there's more gambling in baseball happening?
Oh my, where?
Iowa and Iowa State are now being investigated for gambling in sports, and that might be reaching the baseball programs as well. So, I don't know what's going on this year, why we think we can bet on this.
I don't know what's happening. But I did love to see Alabama crush it this weekend after that little scandal. So, love to see it for them. Okay.
Love it.
Respect.
Great, thanks. All right, well, let's get into it. I'm so excited. A new number 1 team, number 1 Wake Forest, now 39-7 on their season, which is really the best record that we have. So well-deserved in terms of record, well-deserved just in how they've been playing this year. So finally not LSU. Wake Forest took their series over a ranked Boston College team. They won 6-0, then lost 11-9, but won the rubber match 4-2, and they will be playing UNC Greensboro this week. So exciting, right?
I know, and I mean we've been on the Wake Forest train a lot this year. I feel like I will even say. Not only is their team obviously top caliber, but their social media game is fire, and I feel like it just adds to it all. And so I'm like, I love Wake Forest. I love them. Yeah.
I know.
It helps.
And, yeah, they really are just, like, up there. I mean, and they're up there with LSU. Yeah. They passed LSU. They're there. So they're it.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Number 2, LSU. Lost their series at Auburn. Auburn, a team that I feel like we've low-key been on. They haven't been in our top 25, but we've said, like, we made the comment when they played Georgia Tech months ago.
Yeah.
Like, watch Auburn. But LSU won the first game 3-0, but then they lost the next 2, 8-6 and 12-2. So clearly, the pitching just really wasn't there for them in the last 2 games. And Auburn is one of those teams that they will lose big and they'll win big. So typically they're very high-scoring games, whether they win or lose. So the other team's got to have the offense to compete with that, and LSU just came up short of that on Saturday, and they really didn't have any offense on Sunday. So,
yeah, I know. I made a comment on this that I don't think this really says a whole lot about LSU. I think LSU is still absolutely killing it, have a fire offense and defense. So I'm not super worried about that, but I do think that Auburn deserves some more credit here. I will say after beating South Carolina last week, which was a number 3 team, and also South Carolina didn't drop a whole lot. You're gonna see they're at 6 this week. So like, I just think this goes to show like Auburn deserves a little love here, and I get it. Maybe they're like waiting, to see how they continue to do. But they beat the number 1 ranked team. I don't know. I just think that they deserve a little bit more love. But also, I think we should give it a week, and hopefully maybe we'll see them next week. So
yeah, and I think we will see them next week. I mean, as always, we are big checkers of the RPI, and Auburn's 28th in RPI, right behind Texas and Tennessee. So I think they are inching up, and that's more of a conversation we will have on Thursday as we pick our dropping ins. But
yeah, and especially though, I will say I hope Auburn doesn't get like jibbed on their like spot to be up, because they're gonna play Ole Miss this weekend. And even though Ole Miss is not in our rankings and they haven't been doing too hot recently, I don't know. But also, I guess Auburn needs to prove themselves. But I don't know. Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that Thursday.
Yeah, we'll just get right into number 3. Arkansas up a couple spots because there were some big upsets that we'll get into, not just LSU. So there were some big upsets. Yeah. Arkansas, though, was not upset. They swept Mississippi State, won 6-2, 14-2, and 11-6. And they don't have any midweeks, so life is good in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Life is good in Fayetteville.
Yeah. Love to see it. Same for Stanford. They crushed it.
Yes. Stanford crushed it. They were at ASU. They won 8-6, 12-11, and 9-4. I mean, I just don't even really know what to say about Stanford. Good job.
I know.
They are at Santa Clara on Tuesday. I don't know. I get it. Stanford, I'm not
I feel like this is the only week that I'm actually okay, good. Because I think Arizona State is a pretty good ball program this year. But I'm Stanford has just been killing us with, not moving from their same spot. And they're losing. So I'm good job. Love to see it. But... yeah.
Well, they didn't lose last week, right? They were 3-0 last week because they didn't have any midweek. So good for them. It will be fun to see them as they continue. I'm excited for the Pac-12 tournament for the Pac-12 because I don't think that's going to be as defined as much as the SEC tournament and stuff like that. So I am looking forward to that. Moving on, number 5, back in the SEC, Vanderbilt. They lost game 1 and game 3 to Alabama. So an upsetting weekend for Vanderbilt. They lost 11-2 on Friday. They lost 2-1 on Sunday. They did take the middle game 4-1, and they will be at Louisville on Tuesday. So not super easy of a midweek.
No, and I will say, I know we don't usually linger on all of our series for so long, but are you surprised that they maintained? I mean, I get that Alabama was in our rankings a few times, but they lost a series, and they're still right here at number 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not totally surprised that they maintained just because they're still so high up there when it is in terms of RPI and stuff. They're right in that same zone. I also think that they haven't really had any crazy losses this year, so I'm not super surprised. There were also just so many other upsets, right?
It's
the
true.
next
That's
couple,
true.
the teams above them, the teams behind them that we're going to get to were also upset. So I'm not super surprised by it. It's weird, but I'm not super surprised.
I feel like that's just the motto of this season for me.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I'm not super surprised.
It's weird. This season is weird. This is a really weird season. Number 6, South Carolina. They were swept by Kentucky, 7-3, 14-7, 9-2. So, like I said, I mean, they dropped more drastically. I don't think you can really be a number 3 team after getting swept by Kentucky, so that makes sense more for me. This is also their second. Didn't they lose last weekend also?
Yeah, to Auburn.
So it's just kind of this makes sense to me, and it makes sense why Vanderbilt's still there. I mean, after going 2-2 last week, in my opinion, just because all these other top tier teams lost also.
Yeah.
So, but South Carolina will be hosting North Florida this week, so that should be an easy win pickup, hopefully. Speaking of Florida, number 7 Florida took the first game over Texas A&M 6-5, but they also got upset, dropped the next two 15-2 and 3-2. So that dropped them down a couple spots as well. Yeah.
Fun series for A&M though. They were at home too.
It was really fun.
Good for them.
That was an exciting one, and I just saw, because I'm on A&M baseball social media, just as the algorithm. But they have so much cute girl attire, baseball attire. I'm I need to buy all of this.
Oh no,
this is not okay.
I need it.
But yeah, no midweeks for Florida, which takes us to number 8, Coastal Carolina. They played Appalachian State. Sorry. They lost game 1 big, 11-0. But they really bounced back. They won the next one 6-5 and then 11-4. So overall, a good look for Coastal Carolina on the weekend. They are going to be at the Citadel on Tuesday and get to play our newly ranked Clemson on Wednesday, which will be fun.
Love to see that. Exciting for that. And I'm glad they beat Appalachian State because they worried me with that first 11-0 loss. So.
Yeah, it was a little concerning.
It was.
Well, concerning. Not concerning. Number 9, Connecticut swept Seton Hall 10-7, 3-2, 15-9, which we all expected, and we're all sick of them playing teams like Long Island on Tuesday and Hofstra on Wednesday.
Oh, I know. Which I will say, I was just going to post about this on the page. Hofstra, I think one of their pitchers was pitcher of the week this week. So I don't know. Maybe they'll put up some pitches against UConn. Give their offense a little run for their money. I'm not really sure. But like Paige said, here they are. Just maintaining. Doing them.
Chilling there because, yeah. All right. Number 10, Duke stayed at number 10. They played one game last week. It was versus Longwood. They won 13-9. The second game they were supposed to play was canceled. Sticking with their super competitive games, they're playing Rider on both Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wow. Amaze.
So fun, Verdict.
Love to see it.
Number 11, Miami swept Presbyterian 13-4, 12-1, and 12-2. The Bats were there for them this weekend, and they will be playing Florida International on Wednesday. So a good week for Miami. And then number 12, West Virginia. They won their series versus Oklahoma, took game 1 9-3, lost the middle game 6-3, and won the rubber match 9-3. They will be at Pitt on Wednesday, but they did great. They maintained that number 12 spot. I think they looked good. No questions about West Virginia.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're just
time to be
chilling,
real.
maintaining. It's time to be real. Gosh.
Just
you
so
still have
happens
Be
away.
Real? I'm so bad at that. I'm actually bad at Be Real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the greatest Be Realer. Well, anyways, Campbell, 13, they also maintained. They swept UNC Asheville, because obviously, 16-8, 10-2, and 11-7. They're hosting UNC Wilmington on Tuesday, which I'm assuming they will do the same. Win that one. East Carolina still at 14, swept Cincinnati 9-3, 11-3, and 6-5 at Old Dominion on Wednesday. Number 15, Beavs, also maintained after their series win against Utah. Was definitely a tough one for sure. Game 1, they came out and they lost 13-9. Utah was definitely hot with the bats. And I think Paige and I have talked about this before too. I can't say anything bashing about the Bees, but I think our pitching obviously is a struggle. I think we're really hot with our bats. Yeah, the pitching is just it's a toughie for sure. But they did come back and win the next two, 6-5, 11-4 to take the series. We love to see it. Travis Bazzana also broke the record for the most stolen bases in a single season with 30. Love to see that. I think the Beavs are looking good. I think we always talk about peaking at the right time, and I think, they're really looking cohesive as a team. Hopefully we can just get that pitching.
How do you feel like they would do in Fayetteville, though? Because right now that's where they're projected to go, and I'm just not sure that they could compete.
I know. And I'm on the fence. I think a part of me is worried, but a part of me is also hopeful. The way that they're playing, I think it looks good. I think, honestly, the biggest thing even for me in baseball is, when the team clicks, when everybody starts vibing, that's when good things happen. So I see that with the Beavs, but also, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They worry me a little bit, too.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I mean, the pitching's really questionable. I don't think their chances of hosting a regional are very high for them right now. And I just think seeing them play a good team like Arkansas would be hard.
I know, and I think to do that, I think they definitely need to get the series win over UCLA and definitely show up at the Pac-12 tournament
and sweep that Western Carolina, I think is who they play at the end of the season.
Yeah. In a couple weeks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
It'll be interesting. All right, moving on to Clemson.
Clemson, who Paige and I both chose to get in our rankings this week. At 16, love to see it. Right in the middle of the pack. They swept Louisville 6-3, 4-3, and 7-3. They're at Coastal Carolina on Wednesday. That should be a fun one.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, right? Kentucky, though, like we said, they swept South Carolina, and they are at Tennessee Tech on Tuesday. Dallas Baptist, down a couple spots. They did win their series, though, over Middle Tennessee. They won 16-5, lost the middle game, though, 16-8. And then won 15-6. They're playing Central Arkansas on Tuesday. Maryland, though, up a few spots. Took 2 of 3 from Nebraska. Won 8-4, lost 12-2, and won 20-5. Mylanta
Lost 12-10, by the way, but yes.
Oh, 12-10. Sorry about that. But won 20-5. Gosh, I just
one.
20 runs is too many. They're playing Northeastern though on Tuesday, so who was formerly up in our rankings last week. So who knows what could happen there. Boston College, like we said, lost to Wake Forest. No midweeks for them. Virginia, another boring one, didn't have any weekend games, but they are playing Radford on Wednesday. UTSA maintaining after they swept Rice this weekend, 9-7, 10-8, and 11-6. No midweeks for them. Tennessee, though, lost their series to Georgia, unfortunately. I forgot to put the scores in here, but Tennessee did get one of the wins. Georgia took the other 2, and they have Austin Peay. Oh, wait, no. I always do that. Damn it. P. Just P. Don't look at the Y on Tuesday. Oregon, though, another unfortunate loss there. They lost their series to USC. That's
you know what?
That's
Austin, sorry,
one.
I'm going back to Austin Peay. It sounds British.
Yeah, it's just
Austin
a weird word in general. It's a weird word in general, and that's why I'm like, just don't look at the Y. Just say P, and just say P, and it'll sound the way that it needs to sound.
Yeah,
it's like, huh? The Y just confuses
It's British.
Me.
It looks
it's
British.
It's British. Austin P.
There's no consonants. It's
P.
just British.
Well, Oregon, like I was saying, lost to USC. No, that's fine. I think every time that word comes up, we just have to acknowledge, because I get stumped by it every time. Paige is like, yeah, I'm familiar. I'm not. But Oregon lost to USC for the 3rd time. I think we just got to hang on that in there, because how did they lose to USC? And they were at home, too. I think they were in Eugene. I don't know, but they did. So they dropped a few spots to 24, 2 midweeks versus Utah Tech. Southern Miss back up in the rankings. Love to see it. They swept South Alabama 6-4, 6-4 again, 6-1. They have no midweeks, so they're just big chilling.
Yeah, big chills. Until next weekend. Wow, Southern Miss. They're in and they're out, and they're in and they're out. It's like, what goes
I know,
around,
right?
goes
I think
around,
they've
goes
sprinkled in like 4 times, maybe. I don't know. In and out like 4 or 5 different times. They just love to surprise. We're back.
We're back. Guess who's back? Back again. All right. See y'all on
Happy Monday,
Thursday.
everybody.
All this on me so yummy. All this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy. Yummy all in your tummy. Then move.